Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Tonight I am going to be making one of my favorite 30-minute meals. I'm going to be making chicken piccata. And to get started, I have some boneless, skinless, thin sliced chicken breasts, some freshly grated parmesan, some butter, I have some capers, I have 2 lemons, some olive oil, I have some chicken broth, some angel hair pasta, we have some Pinot Grigio, and some flour, my all-purpose seasoning, and some salt and pepper. Alrighty, so to get started, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten out this chicken. My chicken has already been washed, of course, but to make chicken piccata, you really want to have like a nice thin chicken cutlet. So you're going to want to get a mallet or your rolling pin or whatever you guys use at home to flatten out and tenderize your meat. I'm just going to go ahead and use my tenderizing mallet, and I'm going to pound out this chicken breast just to get it nice and flat and thin. And doing this also helps the chicken to cook faster. This is a 30-minute meal, which means we are going to be cooking this meal very quickly. So it might seem a little intimidating, but I'm going to try and slow everything down for you guys as best as I can and explain all my steps and everything, of course. So you just see me here flattening out this chicken. You guys can use saran wrap, or you can just put it in a freezer bag like I do. I think it helps with the splatter. Sometimes when you pound out chicken, it kind of splats a little bit, especially if you just washed it. So if I put it in a plastic baggie this way, no splatter gets anywhere. So go ahead and flatten out your chicken, get it nice and tenderized, and then we are going to move on to our next step after that. Alrighty, so now that all of our chicken breast has been flattened out, I'm going to just lay down some foil just so I can season up this meat. I'm just going to lay out all of my chicken breasts right here on this foil, and I'm going to do a light dusting on the front and the back of each piece of chicken with my all-purpose seasoning. You guys can use whatever all-purpose seasoning you have at home. If you don't have any just all-purpose seasoning blend, you can always just do salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, just the normal seasonings, just to put it on your chicken. But like I said, I'm just going to be using all-purpose seasoning, which is a blend of multiple seasonings together, which I really like whenever I'm cooking chicken or different kinds of meats. I think it's nice to just have a seasoning that has all the seasonings combined into it. So if you guys have an all-purpose seasoning that you love, go ahead and use that. If not, like I said, you can just use salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, all of those kinds of seasonings. All right, so once we season the fronts and the backs of our chicken, we are going to go ahead and get our flour mixed up and ready to go. This is chicken piccata, so we are going to be breading this in a flour mixture, which you guys see me doing here. So I just have my flour, and I'm just going to put a nice couple of spoonfuls right here on this plate. After you get a good amount of flour out, we are going to season this flour up. I've mentioned in multiple videos that you never want to coat any kind of meat or chicken or anything with unseasoned flour. Your flour should always have seasoning in it as well. So I'm just going to season my flour with my all-purpose seasoning, and I am also going to be adding some Italian seasoning to my flour as well. After I put in my Italian seasoning, we are going to be adding in our Parmesan cheese to our flour, which is a very crucial step when making chicken piccata. So grab your granulated Parmesan cheese and add that to our flour mixture as well, and we're just going to give this a good mix so that all of our seasonings and our flour and Parmesan is all evenly mixed up together. Alrighty guys, moving right along. Now that flour is all blended up and ready to go, as you can see here, it is time to start coating our chicken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with each piece, and we're going to lay that chicken right in that flour mixture, and we want to make sure that that chicken is evenly coated on both sides with the flour mixture. You don't want to see any bald spots. You don't want any part of the chicken to go untouched by that flour. You want every inch and crevice of that chicken to be coated with that flour and Parmesan cheese mixture. It really is going to make a difference. So as you can see here, I'm just grabbing it with my hand. I'm rubbing it all in and making sure it's very, very coated. And then after I am done that piece, I'm just going to go ahead and grab my plate, and I'm just going to set that chicken on a separate plate so that it can rest while I go through all the other pieces. That chicken is just going to be sitting on that plate resting. You guys, we are going to let that chicken rest in that flour mixture before we start to cook it for about 10 minutes or so. You really just want to give the flour time to marry together with that chicken, and you want to give it time to stick and to bind to the chicken. So if you were to fry this immediately, it wouldn't stick to the meat very well. You have to just kind of give it a few minutes to set in and stick. So what I like to do while my flour is resting on the chicken, I like to just go ahead and make myself a little side. Sometimes I'll do rice, sometimes I'll do mashed potatoes. Tonight in particular, I am going to be doing like a quick Parmesan noodle, which I'm also going to be showing you guys how I do that as well. It's a very nice side dish to go along with chicken piccata. And I really think that this is a great option, especially for us working moms. I know a few people commented on my community page saying that they wanted just some really quick, do it really fast meals that they can make just after work, and this is one of them. You can literally cook this whole meal from start to finish in 30 minutes, you guys. Alright, so while my chicken is resting, I'm going to go ahead and prepare our side dish, which is some noodles. I have a pot on the stove, and I turned my stove on high, and I just salted the water since we are going to be boiling some pasta. Tonight I am going to be using some angel hair. You guys can use whatever pasta you want. I picked angel hair specifically because it cooks the fastest of all of the pastas. This is a 30-minute meal, and like I said, I did want to just whip this up really fast, so that is why I picked angel hair, because it cooks in just a few minutes flat. And so I just threw those in with some salted water, and we're just going to wait for that to come to a boil, and you're just pretty much going to follow the instructions in the box. I think these cooked in literally less than 10 minutes. As you can see, they come to a boil very quickly and they're done. So now that my noodles are done, I'm going to drain them off, bring that back to the stove. My stove is off now, by the way, and we're just going to season up these noodles. So I'm going to add in a drizzle of some olive oil, and then I'm also going to be adding about 2 tablespoons of butter as well. And I'm just going to get my tongs, and I'm just going to give that a good mix, get those noodles nice and coated in that butter and in that olive oil. Yep, toss those noodles all around, and then we're going to season these noodles up. So I'm going to be going in with some Italian seasoning, give that a nice generous helping of Italian seasoning, and then after that I am going to be adding in some of my all-purpose seasoning that we used on the chicken, and then I'm also going to be using some salt and pepper as well. After you put in all of your seasonings, I am going to be adding the juice of a half of a lemon into this too. I think it gives the noodles a nice brightness, a nice pop of acidity. We are going to be using lemons in our piccata sauce as well, so I think that it marries very, very nicely together with those capers, just having that nice pop of lemon in those noodles as well. I'm telling you, it brightens the dish up immensely. And then after you add in that juice from half of a lemon, go ahead and give your noodles a toss. Get those seasonings all mixed up and blended together with those noodles. And then at the very, very last step, I'm just going to sprinkle in some grated Parmesan cheese. And that's it, you guys. We're keeping this very quick. We're keeping this very simple, but we're also going to make sure that this food is very tasty as well. That is important. So like I said, grab your Parmesan and sprinkle that in and give that a nice good toss as well. And that's it, you guys. Our noodles are done. Look at that. So quick and so easy, right? All right, moving right along, go ahead and grab yourself a pan, and we are gonna add in some olive oil and about 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter, and we're just gonna let this melt down. My stove is on about a 6 right now, medium-high heat. We're gonna melt this butter down with this olive oil, and then we are gonna start frying up this this chicken. All right, that butter is melted down in that olive oil. So next I'm just gonna grab a couple pieces of our chicken, and I'm just gonna pan fry this. You are gonna be cooking this for about 5 minutes per side, depending on the thickness of your chicken. I am using thin sliced chicken breast that we obviously pounded out too, but if yours is a little bit thicker, just cook it for a little bit longer. You just want to make sure that that chicken is cooked all the way. But yeah, you want to cook it for about 5 minutes per side. Before you flip it, you just want to check to make sure it has that nice golden brown color. And once you see that nice golden brown color, it's okay for you to go ahead and flip. And then you're going to cook it on the other side as well. You see here how it has that nice golden crust. That is exactly what you want to see. That Parmesan cheese really helps to make that crust nice and golden brown as well. So I am just going to cook all of my pieces of chicken. I think I had about 5. I'm obviously not going to show all of that, or this video will be ridiculously long. But I'm just going to go ahead and cook all of my chicken thoroughly, and after that I will be right back. Alright, so this was my last piece of chicken that I cooked. I'm going to go ahead and take that out of our pan and set that in my platter along with the other pieces so they can rest. And we are just going to do the last step and make ourselves some piccata sauce. So I have my oil and butter left over at the bottom of the pan. Y'all know how I felt about them drippings, y'all. So please don't drain those. We're going to use those to enhance our sauce. So to our oil and butter mixture, I am going to add 1/3 of a cup of a dry white wine. Whatever you guys have is fine. I'm using a Pinot Grigio, but you can also use Chardonnay or whatever you have. And after you add 1/3 cup of wine, I am also going to be adding 1/2 of a cup of some chicken broth. And I'm just going to get my rubber spatula and give that a nice good mix. While I'm mixing, you notice that I'm scraping up those bits from the bottom of the pan. You want to make sure you're getting all of that up too. After I give that a good mix and scrape that bottom, I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze the juice of 1 whole lemon in this sauce. So you want to juice 1 whole lemon. And make sure you grab those seeds. You see I'm using my hand to catch any seeds that fall down, as you can see right here in my hand. Lemons have lots and lots of seeds, so you just really got to be careful so you don't get any seeds in your sauce. And after you add the juice of 1 whole entire lemon, I am going to be adding some lemon zest as well. That is totally optional. You guys don't have to use any of the zest. I think it adds another little pop of acidity, a little pop of brightness into the piccata sauce as well. If you have a zester, please do yourself a favor and add some lemon zest in there as well. But if you don't fret. It's not a big deal. Your dish is still going to come out delicious anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and add some zest from 1/2 of a lemon. And then I'm going to grab my rubber spatula and mix that around. And you'll notice that the sauce starts to thicken on its own as the wine starts to reduce down. That is the perfect consistency that you want to see. I'm just going to zoom it out here since it's getting just a little bit of smoke in the camera. But like I said, you're going to notice that your sauce starts to thicken on its own, and that is exactly what you want to see. Next, we're going to add the star of the dish, which are these beautiful capers. They give a nice briny, acidic flavor, which I absolutely love. Here I'm just kind of squishing a few of them just so that they pop and like release those juices and that brininess into our sauce. But you're gonna give this a really good mix, and then I'm gonna turn off the burner. We don't want to reduce this down too much because then our sauce will be too thick. So I'm going to turn off the burner, and my last step is to add in 3 tablespoons of butter. And we're just going to let this butter melt down into our sauce. And that is it, you guys. That was our last step. I know that seemed like a lot, and I know we were moving fast, but this is the quickest dish that you can cook that is so elegant. You can literally order this at a restaurant and make it in your own house in 30 minutes. I mean, come on. So as you see here, I'm just grabbing that spatula and I'm just helping that butter to melt down in our pan. And that is it. All right, now that our sauce is done, I'm going to go ahead and plate it up. Here was our chicken that was resting in my baking dish, looking beautiful and ready to eat. I'm going to spoon some of our noodles right here on my plate. And then next, I'm going to grab a nice piece of our chicken and lay that right over top of our noodles. Looking good, looking beautiful. And last but not least, I'm going to take some of our sauce and we are just going to spoon that right on top of our dish. Look how beautiful that looks, you guys. And it took absolutely no time at all. And that is it. That is our finished product, you guys. This is chicken piccata, and I am just going to garnish it with some fresh chopped parsley right here at the end. And yeah. I really hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. We absolutely love this dish here in my family, and I really hope that you guys enjoy it too. If you make it, let me know down in the comments, and as always, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching, you guys.